What's up, foodies? Today we are making a pecan pie with a bit of a time travel twist. This recipe comes from my friend Max Miller over on Tasting History. A huge shout out to Max for not only putting this recipe together, but also giving us a little crash course on the history of pecans. After hearing him talk about how pecans became a thing and how to make this delicious pie, I just had to give it a try. I wasn't expecting this, but this has become my new favorite pie and it's officially going into my dessert rotation. I won't be going over the history of pecans, but if you want to learn more about them, head over to Tasting History's YouTube channel, links in the description below. With that said, let's get into it. So before we start, I'm making two 9-inch pies. So I doubled Max's recipe and I found that doubling it will fill two 9-inch pie shells perfectly. We're going to start by blind baking our crusts. Heat your oven to 425 degrees Fahrenheit and line each pan with your favorite pie dough. You also want to make sure you grease your pie pans. I'm using a store-bought dough today, but if you want a really amazing recipe for pie dough, let me know in the comments below. Now press the pie dough in and layer some foil over the top. Then fill it with pie weights, or dry beans. And into the oven the pie goes for about 12 minutes. After 12 minutes, take the weights and foil off and bake your pies again for another 5 to 7 minutes until the bottoms just start to brown. Once they're browned, remove from the oven and let both crusts cool completely before filling. If you add your own custard to your hot crust, they're going to start cooking the second they hit the pie crust. A cooled pie crust is going to help the filling bake evenly and give you a smooth, clean slice later. Now drop your oven down to 350 degrees Fahrenheit and let's make our custard. Crack 6 eggs into a bowl and whisk them. Then take your whisked eggs and place them into a pot. I personally like using this saucepan with rounded corners because it helps the eggs from clinging to the edges and becoming scrambled. But if you don't have a sauce pot, a normal pot will work just fine. Just make sure you get your spatula into the corners. From there, add 2 cups of brown sugar, which is about 440 grams, 2 cups of whole milk, which is roughly 470 mils, and then 1 cup of finely chopped pecans, about 130 grams. Now add in 2 tablespoons of flour. Then add in a pinch of salt. Now this next ingredient isn't in the recipe, but if you got it, add in around 2 tablespoons of vanilla paste. It works amazing in this pie. Now set your pot over medium-low heat and start warming everything up slowly. And instead of a whisk, let's switch over to a spatula. A whisk adds too much air and can foam everything up. Plus the spatula lets you sweep the bottom and corners so the edges don't catch and cook. No one wants scrambled eggs in their pie. I mean, unless we're making a quiche and that's a whole different story. Now you don't want your custard to simmer or bubble. That's when you start scrambling things. You're just aiming for a gentle steam to come off the top. Now hold in that sweet spot for about 3 minutes, stirring the whole time. You don't want to stop stirring because the second you do, that bottom is going to become scrambled eggs. Now it won't turn into a full custard yet, but it will thicken just enough for you to get a smoother set later in the oven. And for those of you who are using a thermometer, you're looking to roughly hit around 150 degrees to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. It's warmed and slightly thickened, but nowhere near cooked. Now divide the filling evenly between the 2 cooled crusts. Then you can add some extra pecans on top and a nice little pattern to make it look all pretty. Then place it in the oven and bake it for about 35 to 40 minutes. Times may vary depending on your oven. What you're looking for is the edges should be set, but the middle should still move a bit when you nudge the pan. That wobble is what's going to keep the custard creamy as it cools. Now if you're using a thermometer, that makes things even easier. Pull your pie when the center hits between 170 to 175 degrees Fahrenheit. That's the sweet spot where the custard sets firmly enough to slice cleanly, but the eggs don't overcook. If you like your texture slightly firmer, you can take it up to 178 degrees Fahrenheit, but I wouldn't go past 180 degrees. Above that, the custard starts to tighten up too much and you lose that silky texture. Then pull from the oven and let your pie cool completely. Cutting your pies too early makes the custard collapse a bit, so make sure you let them cool all the way before slicing it. While our pies are cooling, let's make our meringue. Add 4 egg whites to a clean bowl along with a little squeeze of lemon juice. Adding some lemon juice right at the start helps stabilize the whites so they whip up nice and strong. And then beat them till you reach soft peaks. Then slowly stream in 4 to 6 tablespoons of caster sugar. Then keep going until the meringue turns glossy and holds stiff peaks. At this point, it's ready to spread or pipe over the pie. Once your meringue's ready, transfer it into a piping bag and pipe it over the top of the pie. Style it however you like. Now I'm gonna get all fancy and use a blowtorch to brown mine because it's more fun and it just looks cool. And you get that perfect toasted finish in just a few seconds. And if you don't have a torch, most of you don't, just pop it back into the oven at 350 for about 12 minutes or until the meringue is nicely golden. Pie's done, I'll let it cool down and let's give this a try. Look at that, nice and custardy. That's really good. It's not too sweet. It's like the perfect amount of sweetness. Like some pecan pies you get now, they're really, really sweet. And I wasn't a huge pecan pie fan, but after having this, I'm definitely a fan. And this is how I'm gonna make them from now on. They always say food doesn't taste like it used to. I can see why. This is delicious. This pie was amazing. Thanks, Max, for showing us this recipe and giving us some history on pecans. Didn't know a lot of that stuff, and I love food, so that's pretty awesome. And if you want to follow Max, you can get a link to his YouTube channel in the description below. Awesome channel, I highly recommend following it. Let me know in the comments below if you make this pie. It is definitely a winner in my books, and I will be keeping it in my rotation. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, a subscribe down below, and until next time, I'm gonna eat my pie. FOOD-DEE out.